All right, so we are meeting with the Mr. Facebook Authority of authorities, David Fearon from the other side of the world. How are you doing?
Great to see you, mate. Thank you. Thank you for that awesome introduction. Very cool. Thanks.
Well,
Really good here, mate. Yeah.
if I had done a little bit more preparation, I would have had a longer presentation. But I felt like you're not worth that. So,
Thank you. Yeah, that makes me feel really good today, mate. Thank you.
I think you're self-confident enough, so I don't have to boost that anymore. All right, so we're talking about Facebook Authority, and when Facebook Authority comes to mind, it has to do with influence. And I figure that if you've built a group of, what is it now, 25,000, 30,000?
26,300 and probably going up 50 to 60. Well, no, anything from 30 to 60 members a day. It fluctuates. So,
I would define that would probably be the definition of Facebook Authority, I'd say.
oh, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. All right. So you've been building this for a couple of years, right?
Probably about 18 months, 18, 19 months. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, get
Yeah.
out of here.
Yeah.
That many in such a short time.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay. So tell us a little, first of all, tell us a little bit about you and where you're from and how the hell did you get started in this weird thing and all of a sudden you're a Facebook
Crazy
authority.
world of I am.
Yeah.
Where did I start? I started a long time ago where I didn't actually want to be on Facebook at all. I was one of those guys that didn't even want a mobile phone when they first came out. I was just like, no, the thought of being able to be followed and tracked and no, it just didn't ever sit well with me. But in the end, you have to come around, don't you? You have to sort of go with the flow. And so I'm from England originally. I left in 2009. And I got to a point I think it was a Tuesday morning, February, it was about -5, -6. Car was snowed in. The car park was like an ice rink. And I just hit that breaking point. I was late for work. It was like being on an ice rink, getting to work. I just hit that breaking point. And I thought, no, I'm out. I can't do this anymore. And 5 months later, I'd fully moved to Australia with a backpack. And that was it. And we've gone from there. So things have turned out all right.
It's too damn cold. I pack up my bags and leave to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
Sometimes you know. Do you remember that post I wrote called "The Trigger Point"?
Mhm.
Where that was my trigger point, and whether that's you're trying to make money online or anything in life, you hit a certain point where you decide enough is enough, and I can't let it be like this anymore. So that's
I actually
that's
remember
the point
that
I hit
post.
right then, and I wanted better. I wanted better for myself and my future. So that's what brought me to the other side of the world.
And you did get better, didn't you?
A little bit.
But not at first. Well, was there a struggle?
Oh, mate. I mean, I moved to the other side of the world. I mean, you've seen my story. That I moved to the other side of the world. I had a year visa. And so the gamble was I sold everything and moved out here with a backpack. And I burned all my bridges. I left my job knowing that I wouldn't go back to it. I couldn't go back to it. And so it was a make or break, 100% make or break. It was like, this has to work. So, arrived in Sydney airport with a backpack and sort of sat there for about an hour just in the arrivals lounge after I picked my backpack up, and I was just sort of scratching my head going, just trying to let the whole situation sink in, because it's all excitement. It was all like, oh yeah, this is really happening. And then, I actually landed in Australia and I was like, okay, you've got to make this work now. There was absolutely no other option, but I had to make it work. And I think that was like the second trigger point, where the first trigger point was, okay, I want better. And then the second trigger point was being faced with that stone cold reality that, you had X amount of dollars left in your account. What did you want to do? Because I wanted to go surfing, I learn how to surf and all that, because that's the thing you do when you come to Australia as a new tourist, let's say. And then, there was I had about an hour of just sitting there, just contemplating the situation I'd put myself into. But it's those times when you find the best in yourself. I think, that's what I found for myself. Anyway, it's like, I have to really, really make this work, or you're going to be sleeping on a beach the rest of your life, which wouldn't be such a bad thing. But if you're up north, the salt crocodiles will, they'll take you. So.
Ouch.
Yeah. I found a job whilst all my friends and I was touring. I did a little bit of touring initially up the coast. All my friends they went fruit picking because they were hoping to get the second year in Australia. That's the way the visas worked here, where 1 year holiday visa are great, but if you want to stay a second year, you have to go and do like the fruit picking to get the second year. And that's 3 months of torture in rural farmland with spiders, snakes. And I was like, I came here for a reason. I came here to succeed. I came here to change careers, and I came here to just make my life here. Make my hopefully have a family here. And so, like I said, there was nothing to go back to. It was all here. It was all ahead of me. So while they were fruit picking, I ended up back in the worst hostels I can possibly imagine, because most of the city was booked in Sydney.
All right.
And I remember lying on those beds in the hostels. I was lying on my rucksack on top of the beds in those hostels for a few weeks, just not wanting to let any part of my body touch the bed because they were so filthy, and they were essentially homeless hostels. And again, that was the third trigger point where I thought, right, you have to find a job. So I sat down and I found every internet cafe that did sort of free internet. And I sat outside McDonald's with a small laptop getting the free Wi-Fi. And I sent out CV or resume, as it would be in the States, sent out resume after resume after resume, just, looking for work. And I found somewhere, pretty decent. So I went from the 1 year holiday visa to actually getting sponsorship. The sponsorship is 4 years. And then after the 4 years and the months that you've worked beforehand, you can then go on to the permanent residency, that costs, I think, $16,000 to get. But in the long term, I get to stay in Australia. I love it here. And I wouldn't change anything, to be honest with you. There's a few soul-searching moments along the way, like some incredibly long hours, and it was those hours which made me want to start making it online. Get a foothold online and sort of change my whole situation again. So here I am. A few situational changes, but it's like I said, these are the things that are sent to try, and these are all the character building things that you meet along the way, and you got to rise to them. And so here I am. I can spend the rest of my life here where I want to be, and things have turned out all right. But it was the very, very long hours, like doing 80, 90 hours plus sometimes, and traveling anything from 4 to 5 hours a day, and just not having a life. And it was another one of those moments where I thought, is this what I came out here to do? And it wasn't. I didn't come out here, change my whole life once to, not change it to anything new. Do you know what I mean? Just you could go and work in any city in the world, and you're essentially going to have the same existence. Yeah. Travel, work in the city, home.
Different scenery, but same shit.
That wasn't why I came out here.
Yeah.
It wasn't why I came out here. So I changed it again, and doing what I do with Facebook now was a huge part of that. So
I think
that's my story.
I think that's a pretty good transition now to move into the Facebook thing. So you're full time doing this right now, aren't you?
Essentially, yeah. Yeah.
If you talk more than 8 hours a day and not doing anything on the side.
Yeah. Well, the first day I left to actually do this full time and run the IM side of my business as well. But I slept, I think, it was like 16 or 17 hours. Body was just ready for something had to change. I wasn't coping with all the hours and the travel, and like I said, so the change needed to happen. It was a health thing. It was a lifestyle thing. It was a life thing.
So how long ago was that when you made that decision to move from? Okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going in full time.
I'd known for, I think, I'd known for a couple of years that it wasn't what I wanted to be. I mean, who sits through their school years thinking, I can't wait to go and sit in a cubicle somewhere for the rest of my life? Who does that? And that was the promise. I made that promise to myself when I was a kid. I wanted to be a footballer first, and of course, everyone wants to be an astronaut in preschool, and then football. Then I wanted to be a physical education teacher, and went to university. And life happens, and suddenly you find yourself in a cubicle, exactly where you didn't want yourself to be. So you have to make some decisions, and so I think I'd known for a long time. Ever since I started the role, I'd known that it couldn't be forever.
Yeah.
But because of the situation I was in with visas and God knows what else, you have to stay with a company that sponsors you. And if you leave that company, you have to find another company that's going to sponsor you as well to take you up on your sponsorship. So I was essentially trapped. It wasn't a great situation to be in. But once, if you leave a company and your sponsorship ends, you have 28 days to get out of the country, and they will march you to the airport to get and say, see ya. Bye-bye. Seriously, 28
With bayonets and guns.
So if you've moved your whole life out here, a company could have sent, employed you from England or wherever, and you could have moved your whole family across on this like sponsorship deal. Mm-hmm. And the company could say, okay, position's no longer relevant. See ya. You've got 28 days to find work, or you're out of the country with your whole family. That's how strict it is. So that was the situation I was in, and I had. It just took work. I worked hard. I had a goal in mind. The end goal was to be able to live in Australia the rest of my life, or have the option to if I wanted to. And that's what I achieved. So it was hard work.
Yeah.
Very, very hard work. There was some very dark days and soul-searching moments behind me where, there's questioned it a lot. Is it worth it for the role I was doing? So.
That would have to require that you actually have a soul.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So let's move into what you did to start a bit. I mean, this obviously can't be your first group you've ever built. And if it is, you're a whiz when it comes to I mean, you're got genius when it comes to building a Facebook group. And so did you have a couple of trial and errors, and what did you learn from them?
There's essentially there's multiple groups. Like there's one with I think 15,000, and there's all loads of little other groups like dotted around of like 3,000, 1,000 here and there. And my very, very personal group where I put out most of my trainings and stuff, that's just 128 people. Well, I like to keep that group. There's very close knit. But these other ones are planned, pre-built, built for a reason. They're built to make money, and I honestly think Facebook missed a trick with Facebook groups. I know obviously they make money from your details, but Facebook groups are just a gold mine, which I honestly think Facebook missed, and we've stepped in and exploited that for whichever niches we choose to go into. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, it kind of
so there was trial. We essentially knew that there was a niche here waiting to be exploited, and we hit that, and it just took some hard work. And about the product coming out of Instant Social Profits, where there was multiple nights where we were into the first week we set up the group. I think we had 1,000 members in the first week, and that was just from blasting out, speaking to admins of other groups, and just talking to people and just advertising. We advertised on Gumtree, got multiple accounts banned. We've got mobile phones here where it's still like 18, 19 months later, still not allowed on Gumtree because we got banned. But these are the chances you've got to take sometimes. But it worked. It worked out well.
Well, sometimes it's better to say I'm sorry than to ask permission.
Yes. Sometimes.
All right. So that's pretty remarkable. Just I mean, your small group of 15,000 people and another little small group of 3,000 people. Most people would say 500 people is a lot, because this is not something simple, and it's not something that is easy. It takes a lot of work, and especially what you've done. I mean, the niche you're in is pretty cool, and the research you've done must have taken hours, because you've narrowed it down into a millimeter of focus, and you get so much what do you call that, authority basically in that niche.
100%. 100% right.
And what I've noticed when I went through both of your trainings on the topic, I mean, the profit predator thingy you released a couple a year ago,
Yeah.
and this new
Yeah.
updated, even more powerful version.
Mm-hmm.
The
And by
basics.
the way, since you went through that, I've added another, I think, 6 or 7 videos into the main training. So I'll give you fresh access to it, and there's some good stuff, some very good stuff in there.
Well, that's pretty cool. I thought the training was awesome, and you can see how the fundamentals is not so much on Facebook. It has more to do with your mindset and your approach to everything. Because you could take your training and do it on any platform, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's just that you got the technical aspects of Facebook, and you go through how to use them and leverage them to your advantage. Because
exactly. Yeah.
But it's really elemental knowledge you're teaching in your course. And I mean, building a group from 0 to 25, 30,000 in 18 months, that's not a small task.
No.
Was there ever a point where you felt that you wanted to kill this project, where it was a hurdle or a stumbling block where you felt, okay, this is not going well?
I don't think we ever hit that point ever, because it just grew and it grew and it grew. And the best thing about it is, as you know, starting any business in any niche or any platform is, if you start it from zero, you grow with it. Mm-hmm. And I think that comes across in that training, where some of the tips and just tricks that I go through, that is just 100% experience, talking of like what we've done, what worked, what didn't. Do this and get your account banned. Don't do this, and keep going. Do you know what I mean? It's just 100% experience. I mean, just some of the things we do within our group. You look at the official Facebook sort of literature and like this, what you can and can't do. There's just ways around everything, and it's just learning those things as you go. So it's. I don't think we ever hit a point where we thought this is just too much work. I would honestly say it's probably one of, if not the only business you could run from a mobile phone, I think.
Yeah. It's
not
pretty close to it.
You see that in a lot of sales pages, don't you? You run your business from your mobile phone. You open up the training, and it's like, you need this supercomputer to do this, and then you can link into the supercomputer. Do you know what I mean? There's always something there, but that is missing from those sales pages. But this is, I think, don't put me on record by saying this, but I think you could actually run this from your mobile phone.
Don't put you on record. I'm sorry, we're recording this.
We're on record. Oh, damn it. There we go.
So we are getting close to the 20-minute mark. So I would like to start to wrap this up, and I think I would like for you to wrap this up with 2 questions. What are one pitfall you should absolutely avoid when it comes to building authority on Facebook and with groups especially? And what is one great tip that will get you kickstarted into this? And you can choose which to answer first. But I think that will be...
Great tip to get kickstarted. The answer is in your question, get started. You can start a new group in 5 seconds, like that. It's done. You've got an online asset which is there to start building. And I don't think there's anything else online which you could actually start a business. You're like that with any niche. You can just go, okay, or a fan page, whatever. We don't actually use fan pages in this, but this is a pure group building and monetizing group building. So the answer is, in the question, you've got to get started, start your first group. Just choose any niche whatsoever, and start contacting people. Start the one-on-one contacts and go to group admins, etc. Start saying, hey, can I advertise in your group? Can I do this? Can I do that? And you scratch my back, I scratch yours, and this whole universe of possibilities just open up almost instantaneously. You've just got to speak to people.
Yep. Awesome.
And I think that just speak to people. Just open up your horizons, and good things start to happen. Because I think if you're a complete newbie, you sat there at your desk, you got all this training in front of you, and where do you start? Well, I'm telling you, just go and start a group like that, and you've got something to work from then. And so that was one question. What was the first question?
What is one major pitfall that you should absolutely avoid?
losing contact with your human side. If you start chasing the money and start forgetting who the people are in your group, who it is you're serving, then you lose contact and you'll lose money straight away, lose authority straight away.
Yeah.
Use the authority. So yeah, as soon as you start chasing the dollar in groups, in any business, then you just lose sight straight away, and you'll fall out of the race quite easily. But one thing that we do in our groups is we hold extremely tight control. And I think that's one of the reasons why we grew, and we were, it's like all viral. Is people recommending their friends all the time, and because we have very, very strict rules, and if anyone steps out of line even once, they're out of the group and blocked. We have 4,140 people blocked now from the group. So that 26,000 could have been 30K easily, but we have very strict rules. People know what's expected of them when they join the group. We have questions set up when they join, saying if you do this, this will happen. Your X, Y, and Z, and people join the group for a reason, because they want to be in that niche.
Yeah.
They know we're the best at what we do in that niche, and they want to be part of it. And the rest is just Facebook viral magic to a point. So,
that's awesome. So
hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And just to finish this up, I mean, having 4,000 people banned, that just goes to show that it's not about the numbers; it's about the quality of all inside the group.
Exactly,
and I mean,
100%.
if you've got 25,000 people or 26,000, and you've banned almost 20% of all the people.
Yeah.
And you really need to be willing to do that, to filter out the bad eggs.
Yeah. These groups, you've got to be seen. You can't just set them up and leave them. You've got to be seen every day. You've got to, even if it's just like a thank you post every 2 or 3 weeks, just say, hey, we've just hit 25,000 members. Thank you for being part of this awesome group. Even that's enough just to bring that inclusivity in, that family feeling, and that community feeling. I think that's what we've built, is like a community. And once you get that community, from that comes repeat customers, and repeat customers equals higher profits, which
that's awesome.
That's
David.
the magic.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up, and I just want to say I really appreciate you coming on and telling us more about this magical world in Facebook that is hidden for most people, that they just don't see how we can utilize this amazing platform. So thank you a lot for coming on.
Been a pleasure,
and doing
mate.
this.
Anytime.
All right, we are going to talk at a later time about your upcoming product, and
can't wait.
I just want to make a small plug for anyone listening in on this. It's called Instant Social Profits, and it's the absolute best course on building authority on Facebook I've ever come across. And I'm going to bring on David. I'm going to pull him by the little hair he still has. And he's going to tell us more about that course and product in general, specifically.
Can't wait.
And that's it for today. So all of you that listen in, thank you for watching, and have a great day.
Thank you, Sven. Thank you, guys.